a fast cavalry with bows. Do a quick close-up here. He's also using a Siege Sorcerer as a Tomb King. He's got 2 liches, and you can just see the detail in this, guys. He's painted them so well, and he's designed a very, very good list. When I saw his list posted on the Tomb Kings forum, I actually thought he'd get vetoed, but he did change it a little bit, and his list is actually softer than my list, and he didn't get vetoed. In fact, he got slightly better on comp than I did. So really, I had fun meeting this guy and talking to him as well. Made good friends with him, and he did very well in the tournament. More about that later. Let's go to the next picture. Well, this guy's Lizardmen is actually kind of fluffy in my opinion because he's got no Cold One Knights, he's got no Stegodons, he's got no Carnosaur. So all he's got is Croxagores and Saurus Warriors. So this guy is actually pretty well in the soft scores department on the composition side. He's got the Pterodons in the background, they're quite cute. But yeah, it's just a very very humble list this for Lizardmen. Next picture, this is Dave Stent's Empire Army. He's also from the City Guard Club. He used to be the president. This is he's a very nice guy. Really like his theme to it. From a distance, it looks like his bases and stuff are painted grey, but it's actually a very dark shade of green, and it works very well. It stands out very well. It contrasts nicely with his red and yellows that he's using. It's almost a dark-themed Empire Army. It still has a lot of... Well, it actually has heaps and heaps of character. It's got the Flagellants in the middle. He's using an Archlector list, and he's... otherwise, it looks very balanced. There's nothing in this list that you would really, get angry about. There's no steam tanks. There's no war altar. There's just plain old-fashioned troops, and Dave did very well despite fielding a soft list. So he's obviously an experienced player and quite good at Warhammer. So next picture. Oh, I actually voted this guy as my favorite painted army in the entire tournament. I actually played him as well. This is Vampire Counts, the only Vampire Counts player in the tournament. And this guy's Dave Dixon. He's the father of the Tomb Kings player we saw, and the father of the Star Dragon High Elf player we saw. So he brought both of his kids up from Nelson, and this is the list that he chose. I'm just going to go to the next picture so you can see even more details as to what this list looks like. Just absolutely beautiful. He's sort of base coated them in brown, and then just built up greens and whites, and it looks really sinister. It looks sort of late at night in the swamps. The Tomb King, sorry, not the Tomb Kings, the Vampire Counts are coming out to play, and he's got all these ghouls and skeletons just crawling out of the swampy murkiness, and sort of some guys getting just trapped down, bogged down and stuff, and he's got whites as well. Now, one other point to mention about this guy's list is he's got 3 vampires and a white BSB. And his list is sickeningly powerful. All of his vampires can fly. He's got the Dreadlance, Red Fury, you name it. He's got the thing that casts the Invocation of Neheg on 3+. Very insane list, and a lot of people got crushed by this guy. And I actually played him too, but we'll find out how that went later on. Next picture, even more dwarves. Dwarves were very popular in this tournament, which was very cool. I think a lot of old-timers brought their dwarves in just to give everybody a good run in the close combat department and shooting. A lot of tough dwarves here. Looks like some hammerers and some good close combat mock-ups. I think he's got 2 bolt throwers. Maybe he's kept some of his war machines out of the picture because this looks like a very soft dwarf list if this is all there is to it. Next picture, this is Dean Webb's army. This guy I played in Fluffycon 2, my first game, and didn't play him again in this particular tournament. But yeah, he's a great guy, and he hasn't quite finished painting his list here, but it's a very jolly list. It's quite a soft list too, so he earns some points on that. Got plenty of ball boys there, and I'm not sure if I've got everybody on photo here, but at least he's taken the time to set them up for the photo. Next picture, Ogres. Saw these guys on Fluffycon as well. Very standout giant in the middle. I think he's done a few conversions there a little bit. And the BSB is looking very cool. I think maybe the focal point of the army is actually that big banner. It's very nicely painted. And very, kind of typical looking Ogre deck. Not that I know that much about Ogres. I mean, I can't really tell you because I don't play Ogres. But there you go. I think he's got 3 butchers. No, just the 2 butchers, I think. Next picture, the all-mounted... Dark Elf army. I'm glad I didn't play these guys because he's still got a Hydra. It's almost like, okay, his army's in theme, but I'll just take a Hydra. Like everybody took a Hydra. Why would you not take a Hydra? It's just too powerful. It's undercosted. It's pretty much broken. And there, I said it. Hydras are broken in Warhammer Fantasy, and you've got 3 units of Cold One Knights, whole bunch of Dark Riders, or 4 units of Cold One Knights, and 4 units of Dark Riders, and 3 characters all mounted. Man, I'm glad I didn't play that guy. Let's move on. Okay, this guy was cool. I really like his theme here. This very cold, icy blue for the bases really stands out and makes his army look very, very unique. Chaos Mortals, as you can see, And very inventive guy in the color scheme. Didn't play this against this guy, and I don't think he did too well on actually winning games. But his army looks very cool, and it really added to the tournament just to see a very unusual color. I can't imagine any single any other army in Warhammer Fantasy being painted like this except for Chaos Demons, and they're the only ones that can get away with it. So hats off to this guy for making his army look great. And well, who's this guy? I've never seen this guy's army before, but some of you may recognize it. It's the other Tomb Kings player who has the Casket of Souls, and some very familiar looking stuff there, so hope you enjoyed this one. Managed to get a little bit of painting done before the tournament, but yeah, wasn't quite finished. And the swarm is looking pretty ghetto there with its sort of chopped up base, but didn't really want to buy a GW version of the swarm, so there you have it. But yeah, quite happy about how it turned out. It's the red's looking very good, and just a little bit of highlighting. Most of my models broke apart during the tournament and the ride there, but there you go. Let's move on. We've seen that army a lot. This is Josh Warren's army, his Orcs and Goblins army. This guy's a very nice guy. He's the guy who played against me with the Tomb Kings versus Tomb Kings battle report the other week. And he's brought his Orcs and Goblins army to the tournament, and he's painted them very, very well. He's got the Wyvern, and he's using he's now using that Privateer Press model, a Trollblood model, as an Orc and Goblin Giant. I'm just going to flip to the next photo because I've done a close-up on his stuff here. He's done a great job on this Wyvern. All of his stuff is looking very, very good, and he played very well in the tournament. Did very well. I think he ended up very highly in the rankings. So hats off to him. Next picture, this is Gavins Basement army, which he's actually trying to sell at the moment, I heard. I'm not sure if that's true, but I heard somebody say that. I played against this guy, first time against Beasts of Chaos. He's painted them very nicely, especially the bases, they look very good. A lot of characters to this army, and he's just taking so many models. How could this army be anything but soft and fluffy, and getting good stuff in the comp scores? Lots of ambushing going on, plenty of skirmishing going on, and a big giant in the middle. Done a lot of work in those banners there for the giant, so it's all looking very nice. And yeah, I'm really glad this guy came to the tournament with this list. Now I think this is Bobby Grindrod. He's got heaps of Orc and Goblin here, all painted, very nicely done. And the centerpiece of this army is that giant, as you can see. I'm going to do a zoom in close up on this giant because it's a model from a range that I haven't heard of, and I don't really know much about it. But that giant really characterizes his list. It makes it very unique and different, and sort of, it still looks in Goblins and everything else is familiar, but the army itself just takes on a whole different tone because of this model, and I think that's very good. Really love the way he's all lanky and sort of lumbering forward, and he's got this kind of silly look on his face with the beard, and I really like the yellow beard. It's a nice touch. More Bretonnians. This guy has a lot of knights by the looks. He's got his general on a griffin or a hippogriff or something, and Pegasus nice in the background. I think this is a pretty hard-hitting Bretonnian list, but when is a Bretonnian list ever not hard-hitting? Let's go to the next picture. Oh, Chaos Dwarf. So the only Chaos Dwarf guy showing up. And really glad that he did, because this is the only Chaos Dwarf player, and you very rarely see Chaos Dwarves because GW doesn't sell his models, so he's got the really old-school models, and he's painted them up in a decent theme. He hasn't quite finished painting them. They still look very good, and I'm a bit bummed that I didn't get to play this guy because his army is very cool looking and it's so stylish. I really enjoyed going over to his table and seeing how he was doing, because Chaos Dwarves are really cool. They're very unique. Just going to do a close up here of his lord here on this Taurus. Very cool stuff. He's even got a death rocket in the back. Starting to paint that up with a bit of blue there. And that is it. So without further ado, I'm going to head over to the battle reports. Hope you guys follow my reports on how I did during my games. And there you go. There's an overview of what kind of opponents are in the tournament and what I had to contend with. Some pretty strong lists. Very, very popular with Dwarves, Dark Elves, and Warriors of Chaos. Most people took those lists. But yeah, a single Chaos Dwarf player, a couple of Tomb Kings player. The only armies that weren't represented were, I think, Skaven and... anybody else? I'll have to try and remember if there was anything else, but I think it was just mainly Skaven. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and let's move to the battle reports.